and welcome. Greetings, mamas. We are here just to talk about low milk supply because this is something that a lot of our moms struggle with all the time postpartum. And my name is Sarita Gordon. I'm a birth doula, mommy concierge from Kangaroo Birthing and Maternity Concierge.
Hello everyone, my name is Tayler Clemm. I am with Dawa, and at Dawa we focus on nutrition, birth, and edible garden consultations. So we're looking to heal the mothers through nature. And yes, birth and breastfeeding is so important in our communities, and we want to overcome any issues, especially with the low supply. So today we will give you 10 tips that can help you in overcoming your breastfeeding issues.
Yes, indeed. But one of the things me and Taylor talked about was when we visit a postpartum client, we have to do an assessment. And there are certain things that you have to take into account before we just dive in to go into what is causing the low milk supply. And one of those is what, Taylor?
It could be a number of things, but one of them could be if a mom may be using medications,
yes,
or could be stressed out, or could be maybe even smoking. You know, there's many reasons that the reasons for a low milk supply. So you really have to just assess the situation first.
Yes. And one of the things I always ask my moms, what are your goals? Are you want to exclusively pump? Do you want to exclusively breastfeed? Do you want to supplement with formula and breastfeed? And some, like I have a client now that just wants to pump. And I always coach her and say, you know what, you have to try to, massage or hand express to try to get that supply going, because just being on the pump, it helps, but you need more stimulation to get things going and get that hormone prolactin to get started,
Yes.
So,
yeah. Well, I was just going to add that, breastfeeding is just such a beautiful natural process, and like Sarita mentioned, it's all, our bodies are made a certain way and produce milk a certain way. So when we get that baby to our breast, or if we're, massaging and actually touching ourselves. So when we're doing just the exclusive pumping, our bodies aren't signaling, those hormones aren't really being signaled. So you really have to, massage, do a little, add to it. You have to do a massage, or maybe try to do a lot of skin to skin with baby, so that baby is still, triggering those love hormones, those feel-good hormones like the oxytocin. And the prolactin that Sarita mentioned. So
and one of the tips for number one is move milk. You have to move milk to make milk. The more often you feed, the more milk you'll make. If you supplement with formula or even bottle feed with breast milk, the baby can feel too full to nurse frequently. So can you go more into that?
No, so
move milk to make milk.
Yes, move milk to make milk, and that's a really easy saying. But you have to, it's that simple. You have to move in order to make milk. You have to put the baby to the breast frequently, or you have to pump frequently. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so you don't want the baby to feel too full when you're using the bottle. Sometimes we overfeed the baby. That's why the thing is pace feeding. So there's a certain way to hold the bottle if you are doing that. But if you're wanting to establish a good breastfeeding relationship in the beginning, it's always helpful to bring the baby to the breast as often as possible, or as often as the baby would like to feed, to help with that, good relationship.
Yeah. And number two, we mentioned before in our assessment is, I know moms stress a lot because I don't know if the baby's getting enough milk, especially when you're exclusively breastfeeding, because you want to go with the bottle, you can see how much the baby's getting, but stress just makes things worse. You have to relax when you're nursing. Try to get into a comfortable environment. make sure you have your snack next to you, your water, your phone to look at, so you're ready to relax and de-stress while you're breastfeeding. Watch your favorite TV show while you're breastfeeding. So anything that, you know, causes you less stress, you know, right, Taylor? So I'm like,
yeah. And if you're pumping, I would say, and even if you're, especially if you're away from baby, maybe looking at a picture of your baby, or having like an, you know, a little baby outfit that your baby wears that you love them in. That just helps, you know, really get the milk flowing and get you relaxed and things like that. So
sure.
I agree.
And tip number 3 is it's important to nourish ourselves, nourish your body. Nourishment is so important. We gotta eat foods that's rich in life, vegetables, plant-based. I know that's the strong word right now, is plant-based. But it's important to get those nutrients within the body, because whatever we eat, the baby is eating, right? Stay away from too much caffeine. Try not to, but 1 cup of coffee maybe, because that's dehydrating, you know. So I know I love coffee, but especially when you're pregnant, it's like you're deprived of alcohol and coffee. but you know, but try to refrain from that. Food and drinks that are low in nutrition, and we can list some later on, some examples of that, so you can get a better idea what, you know, what is the right things to eat. What are some high nutrition things, because maybe we just don't know, you know.
Yes.
So
I think that's a great next video topic, because nutrition, again, is just really important.
It's important.
You know, we have to eat foods that nourish our bodies so that we can, you know, produce the milk. That helps with getting the milk flow. If we're eating foods that aren't really nutritious, we may not be getting as much milk as we can. So oats is a pretty good one.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people always talk about oatmeal. And that's even the lactation cookies that they make. One of the main ingredients is the oats. So, and that's why.
Milk supply.
That's why. So, just, you know, eating a bowl of oats, or any, you know, porridge type meal in the morning is a good meal to help with nourishing your body. So.
Yes, indeed. And I hate to say this, because we don't want to hear the baby cry, because that causes more stress, but keep the baby away from pacifiers, especially when you're trying to get your milk supply up, because it discourages it. You may be missing hunger cues that you may see from the baby, and limit them in the first few weeks until you're in a good rhythm in your nursing. So that's key that's for number 4. So and number 5, sleep near your baby, and keep your baby near you, so near your bed or wherever you're sleeping at, so you can even nurse while you're laying down, and you can rest while you're feeding your baby. And that's one of the things that, especially with the doula, we go over the different types of breastfeeding positions that will help you in that process. So and number 6, watch the baby, not the clock. And feed the baby when they are hungry. And again, try not to stress. Try not to overfeed. But that is it for part 1. We're going to go into a part 2, and we'll talk to you more about low milk supply in that.